Welcome to the Daybreak with Jeff Slakey podcast. I'm so happy you found us. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this with your circle of influence. It's a collection of the interviews, news, and conversation during Daybreak with Jeff Slakey on I-Fiber1 News Radio, KMAS, weekdays from 6 to 9.
Spencer Hughes and Jeff Slakey here for a Thursday daybreak. Good morning to you. It's going to be a nice warm day today. I'll have the weather forecast for you throughout the morning, of course. Today on the show, local news and conversation, plus our focus on Shelton, with Shelton Fire Marshal Patti joining us on the burn ban and how fire season is looking this year. We also have an interview with Melendez from the Great Bend Center for Music, talking about the Hood Canal Music School, combining conservatory-based and electronic studio-based educational approaches to provide daily weekday music instruction. As always, we'll start with our COVID update. Since the last release of information, Mason County Public Health was notified of one additional Mason County resident that tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total to 349 positive cases in Mason County. Mason County staff are performing case investigations and tracing close contacts to reduce the spread of COVID-19 in our community. If you're showing signs and symptoms for COVID-19, early testing is encouraged. At the earliest signs of symptoms, please reach out to the Respiratory Illness Triage line at 360-427-3615, and they can assist you in scheduling an appointment at Mason Health's drive-through COVID-19 testing. The 2020 Puget Sound recreational spot shrimp season will end with a 5-day opening in marine areas 7 East and 7 West, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife announced yesterday. With spot shrimp still available in the recreational quota in marine areas 7 East and 7 West, shrimpers will be able to harvest shrimp in those areas September 10th through September 14th. Management plans don't allow spot shrimp harvest after September 15th in these areas to protect egg-bearing females. Anglers will also be able to optimize their time on the water with multiple fisheries still open, including salmon and crab. The daily limit is 10 pounds of all shrimp with a maximum of 80 spot shrimp in areas open to spot shrimp harvest. Only pots with a minimum 1-inch mesh are allowed when retaining spot shrimp. A valid 2020-2021 combination license, shellfish license, or Fish Washington license is required to participate in the fishery. Shrimpers are reminded that traps can be set 1 hour before official sunrise during any open period in the marine areas without specified harvest hours. The pots must be removed from the water in these same areas by 1 hour after sunset at the end of an open period. More information on recreational shrimp seasons and a description of the marine areas is available on WDFW's recreational shrimp fishing section of the website. And just a reminder, this Sunday, a Black Lives Matter Shelton rally is planned, and at the same time, a Back the Blue rally is planned less than a block away at the intersection of First Street and Railroad Avenue. City of Shelton Police Chief Darren Moody has suggested that businesses might want to consider closing on Sunday if they want to avoid the crowds brought by the two groups. And although he doesn't foresee any property damage occurring, he said it probably isn't a bad idea to pack away any valuables and make sure all doors and windows are locked. And Shelton PD will have extra officers and patrols in the area. They'll be coordinating with local law enforcement partners, including WSP, Mason, and Thurston Sheriff's Departments, and planning for any contingencies. Moody cautioned that everyone has constitutional rights and the right to exercise those in a peaceful manner. Seattle heads into the matchup against the Oakland Athletics this weekend, fresh off a dominant performance by Marco Gonzalez. Gonzalez threw 9 innings, giving up 1 run on 4 hits with 8 strikeouts against Los Angeles. The Mariners are 11-16 against all AL West teams. They're 17-8 against American League West Division opponents. They'll be matching up against the Athletics on Saturday at 1:10 p.m. Again today on the show, local news and conversation, interviews with Shelton's Fire Marshal Patti on the focus on Shelton and Melendez from the Great Bend Center for Music. I'm Spencer Hughes with Jeff Slakey. It is a Thursday daybreak, and good morning to you.
From the I-Fiber1 News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's time to focus on Shelton, presented by our community credit union. Shelton Fire Marshal Patti's in studio. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Last week, end of the week, we had a burn ban go into effect.
That's
correct. And since then, over the week, we saw, well, some pretty nice weather, and then it rained a little on Monday, and then we're back into kind of warmer conditions. So, I mean, obviously, when we talk about things, it's a real fluid situation.
Right.
It's been so dry leading up to this that even that one day earlier in this week didn't really do much.
No, it just enough to keep the dust down, really, is all it was, but now that it's back up to being warm again, and I understand we're supposed to look at even up to the 90s here later in the weekend and maybe even early next week.
Yeah.
In order for us to even consider dropping any kind of a burn ban, we're going to need 5, 6, 7 days of good hard rain, and we don't see that, not even close to in the forecast.
What overall how has the fire season been for us? It's hard because of the virus and trying to keep eyes on everything, but it seems as though Mason County has done pretty well over this season.
Yeah, this year we got kind of a late start. We had a real cool June, and even in July was pretty cool for us. But as we got early and got later into the season, as everything dried out, because everything was fairly cool and wet into June and July, it gave the flash fuels, the grasses and that, a lot more time to grow. Uh-huh. And we got into late July and into August, and things started drying out, and we started getting a lot of fires. So we're starting to pay for that now. So we're starting to get our business in the brush fires is starting to pick up.
Because of the virus and the way that we were asked to not go out and recreate a lot, is there concerns that pathways and trails that normally would be stomped down by feet, some of those areas, the brush in those areas are growing up faster than normal?
Well, I think most of our wooded areas are probably not being visited as much as they normally would be. And that's kind of a mixed bag for us. Not having the folks out there obviously reduces the fire risk problem, but it also tends to increase the fire load that we would normally see out there. So it's kind of a mixed bag for us.
Okay. What do we need to kind of keep in mind? I know that we're talking about a burn ban and it's going to continue until we get a fair amount of rain, like you said. But if we could switch gears a little bit as school is getting started up again, everybody's at home still. What are some things that folks need to think about as they continue to put more electricity, maybe more plugs and things like that into their house for the schooling and for at-home care, and since we're at home more?
Well, I think, there's only a finite amount of electrical current that people can bring into a house.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot more computers and a lot more electrical components people are going to be using in their house a lot longer in the day, where folks were at work and at school using their computers, using their electronic stuff. They're going to be doing that at home. Just be mindful that you've only got so many outlets, or you've only got so much capacity out of your home to use those. If you just can't overload your home electrical, it's going to cause problems. Don't overload the electrical circuits, and you're going to have a lot of electrical fire problems.
So like with surge protectors and things like that, one surge protector into an outlet is okay, but you don't daisy chain those things.
Correct. Daisy chaining is plugging one surge protector into another surge protector, or an extension cord into another extension cord into another extension cord. If you're going to use a surge protector, plug that into your wall outlet. Okay. And if it's got 6 outlets on the surge protector, don't fill all 6 outlets and use all of the components at one time.
Okay.
It's only got like I said, a finite amount of capacity.
Yeah. Well, it's just something else for us to think about here. But main point today is that the burn bans do remain in effect, and it is for all burning, right?
Correct. All outdoor burning. With the exception of barbecues, you can still use your gas or gas or charcoal barbecues are still allowed.
You probably don't get many invites to barbecues, huh?
No, especially right this time of year. I'm kind of off the invitation list right now.
Central Mason Fire and EMS Chief Mike Patti. He's also the Shelton Fire Marshal and a heck of a good guy. It's our Focus on Shelton, presented by our Community Credit Union. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFiber One News Radio.
Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show. Got a great guest via Zoom video conference checking in. Matt Melendez, Great Bend Center for Music. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good.
It's good
ready
to
for fall.
Good to see you. Good to talk with you. Yeah, fall is in the air. And as we know, a lot of kids are back in the classrooms this week, next week. And it's really a different look at how class is being held this year. And the Great Bend Music Society for Music out in Union and supports all great things in Mason County had, I should say, planned on doing a music curriculum at the Y and get ready for the start of the Y. Obviously, we've seen coronavirus and there's been delays there. It's still, progress is moving on the project. But we are at a time now when something new is starting to fit into its place. It's the Hood Canal Music School, and that's what we're talking about today.
Great. So, well, for us, we can't sing yet together.
Right.
It's going to be a while yet before we can do that. So we've been really looking at how we can add value to the community while we're waiting to be able to sing again. And it's always has been our plan. Our mission is not to be a choral organization. Our mission is to provide community music programs that are research-based and that we know are going to strengthen the community in very specific ways, socially, economically, educationally, or health-wise. We have actually health and wellness things like our memory care choir. Those things have all had to be on hold. And so we really began looking this summer on what can we deliver still virtually. And like all teachers, I spent the majority of my summer, what I did on my summer vacation was going back to school on all of the new platforms and apps and technology that's available for teaching music virtually and online, literally as they come out of the oven and hand them to you. And so we realized about 2 months ago, wait, that thing we were planning to deliver via Y-Care this fall, there are huge chunks of it that we not only can still deliver this fall, but probably as we go forward, if we develop a virtual backbone now, we can probably continue to use that virtual backbone to deliver this curriculum in perpetuity. And so we went to work. And so the very first thing we're launching is a preschool music program that starts next week. It's almost all the way full up already. We only have 2 open slots left.
Wow.
Which is exciting. And we just decided yesterday that if we have a waiting list programmed in, if we get 6 more kids signed up for the waiting list after we fill up, we'll go ahead and open up another pod.
Oh, cool.
But what this program is it's called an El Sistema inspired program. El Sistema is a program that started about 40 years ago in Venezuela, started by a private wealthy entrepreneur who really believed in the power of making music together to help kids really develop self-esteem, self-worth, and really overcome any sort of challenging circumstances they might find themselves in by really knowing what their own worth is. And it's been hugely successful. Today, there is not a major orchestra in the world that does not have El Sistema trained people leading major sections. And the most famous example is Gustavo Dudamel, who's one of the hottest conductors in the world right now, and currently the conductor of the LA Phil.
Wow.
And they're all results of this program that is about, so it's about social change through music. So we teach ensemble skills, basically team building skills in an intensive environment, to really help cultivate empathy and connection. As, again, a way of lifting kids up and cultivating their self-worth. So we're launching this year with our preschool program. And our plan is to then, once we've got the preschool program in place this year, is each year add an additional year and grow the program that way.
Wow.
At least while things are up in the air as they are right now. And for the first 2 or 3 years, we can do all of that virtually. Once we get to 2nd and 3rd, 4th and 5th grade, it becomes a little more challenging to cultivate those ensemble skills. But again, it was a real epiphany to realize, wait, we can really deliver the preschool portion of this entirely online right now and start the program's momentum as we go.
What does this cost for folks?
This is a free program, and that's another part of the El Sistema mantra. So that program, because it's about social change, so it's about reaching kids who would normally not be able to access something like this. The piece that we're not able to do this year yet, but I'm really hopeful. In fact, we've been talking to Google Chrome about Chromebooks, is the technology portion on the recipient's end. This is a very iPad, so any kid can take this course using an iPad, smartphone, laptop. Touchscreen for 4 and 5-year-olds is definitely way better. But I remember my kid being 4 or 5. You probably remember yours. They could drive a laptop then. So, so it's being assembled that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we'll build the foundation. The kids spend the first 10 weeks in this year focusing just on the fact that they're already musicians. They can already hear high from low, slow from fast. They're, loud from soft. They can hear so much already. We just need to give them vocabulary and the terms so that they can partner with each other in sort of collaborating. So we're going to be doing that along with, they're going to compose. We're going to do a little virtual choir stuff. And I'm really excited about it. And
It's pretty intensive though. I mean, daily. It's daily, and it's 30 minutes daily. Okay.
It's a combination of, I'm fully buzzword compliant. It's a combination of synchronous and asynchronous learning. So in a 30-minute segment, about 15 minutes of that content is going to be pre-recorded video clips, so that one, if you miss the class or if you're confused with it, you can go and revisit that. Here's what this is in little small bites. Here's what we mean by the beat, and here's how to exercise this. Here's the discussion we had this, or here's your assignment for tonight. And so kids can review that. But yeah, it's 5 days a week for 30 minutes, but we're telling parents to plan. It's probably closer to 45 to 60 minutes a day of active engagement, because there will be, even for the 4-year-olds, there will be assignments pretty much every day. Those are very brief little things, but again, it's about creating a sense of community also, and really giving the kids a sense of making a contribution and having a voice. So right now, all of those assignments for the little ones are just a basic, record a quick video telling me what you think about what you listen to here. What do you think this music is doing? Is it laughing, or is it running, or is it jumping? What do you think it's doing here? Really to sort of begin to develop those ear training skills, those how did it start, how did it stop, and again, pull together those basic things that they already have in place, because they're humans and all humans are great musicians, and give them those tools so that come January, we can start notation.
So I remember when I first started and I played in the band, it was, 4th or 5th grade. And it culminated always in a concert. But we're not able to have a end of session concert as it were. So how do you?
We will. And so again, I am working on right now. So again, it's a whole new world. So I'm working right now to really focus. You'd think right now I'd be working on how to support the kids. I'm really working right now on how to support the parents.
Sure.
Because, while I'm designing this to be as independent as possible, these are the little ones, and we go forward. And so a lot of that is about, okay, there's going to be assignments right from the very beginning. And this is why I want to build the technical skills in terms of, I know how to use that app. I know how to submit this. I know how to do this, so that by the time we get to October, we're ready to start working on some musical phrases and record things for a virtual choir, or what we're calling now these days a studio choir ensemble. And hopefully we can do something in time for the holidays.
Cool.
That's the plan. Yeah.
You mentioned there is limited space, but may open up another session. Where do we go to sign up?
Right on our homepage. You'll see kids classes starting soon, and you click on that. Or if you go to our website too, we have the building that we're planning on building in collaboration with the YMCA. We're calling the Music Box. It'll be a 5,000 square foot facility on their campus. And so you'll see a portion of our website that is now called the Music Box. And anything we're doing class or ensemble wise now, you'll find there. And there are different tags, so you can sort through different things as offerings come forward. So you'll see we also have classes for 6th through 12th graders that are coming online in the next few weeks that are all about music production and songwriting. And we're going to be launching some additional projects for the next few weeks that are in line with, again, getting sort of a lighter virtual concert experience going for everybody. So it'll be also for our little kids, but I think we'll also relaunch the chorales as well in a lighter, more virtual way. this fall. The technology, we did a lot of technology experiments trying to make that work in the spring, and like most choir directors, we found it didn't, not only did it not work in general, but it really didn't work here with the internet infrastructure we have here in a rural community. But there are some new ways to approach that we're going to be launching in the next few weeks as well. One of the things we'll be announcing in about a week and a half that I'm excited about is an arts collaborative where we're going to be putting out a prompt. What do you know now for the end of the year? What do you know now you didn't know a year ago? And inviting poetry and prose and photo essays and videos. And when we get those in, I and the choir are going to look at those, see what the themes are, and program a piece that's inspired by those Mason County stories. So that's how so it'll probably just be one piece, but it's what we can do right now. And it's a way we can continue to contribute to the community artistically, bring together people through art, and continue to tell really cool Mason County stories, which has always been a big part of our plan. So lots of things happening. You'll find them all in the music box.
GreatBendMusic.org, a good website to start from. Matt, good to talk with you. The Great Bend Center for Music is a 501c3 nonprofit. We do appreciate them. And we appreciate Peninsula Credit Union for offering time up to nonprofits for coming on the air and talk about these great things. Get signed up now. It's another great addition to the upcoming school year to help kids learn another great, useful skill that could take them very far in life. Matt, again, good to see you. Good to talk with you. And
thank you.
Let me know how this all goes, and we'll catch up again real soon.
Will do.
From the iFiber One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday morning Daybreak. I'm Spencer Hughes with Jeff Slakey. Thanks for listening to all the news, conversation, and great guests today. I found this on the United States Census Bureau website, census.gov, and it's pretty interesting, and it's something that ties in with something near and dear to my heart here in the South Sound of the Evergreen State, and that is the food truck phenomenon. And I love food trucks. Now, when I was a kid, and maybe when you were a kid, they were called roach coaches. Remember that? It was a roach coach, and you would never eat at a roach coach because you'd get sick, you'd get food poisoning, and I was always very short, and I could never see up over the truck to see, the conditions in there, right? But that's changed over the years, and they become more mainstream, and some of my favorite places to eat in the South Sound are food trucks. They'll remain nameless. I don't want to turn this into an advertisement for any particular place, but we have tons of great food trucks, not just in the South Sound, but in Washington State as a whole. And when businesses were ordered closed and social distancing requirements went into effect amid COVID, restaurants were among the hardest hit businesses, right? But not all food service businesses were affected equally, according to the United States Census Bureau. Food trucks, or mobile food services by their very nature, have more flexibility to continue to operate. And food truck businesses have been on the rise, of course, in recent years. The number of food truck establishments in 2018 was 5,970, nearly double the number in 2013 of 3,281. Now, in 2018, these figures only went up to 2018. In 2018, these businesses employed 16,210 workers and reported annual payroll of $320.6 million. That's huge business. Mobile food services businesses exist in every state and in the District of Columbia. California, the nation's most populous state, had the most, 753 back in 2018 when the latest numbers were available. South Dakota had the least, with 11. The top 10 states, California, Texas, Florida, New York, Oregon, Washington, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Colorado, and Virginia. Those accounted for 57% of the U.S. total. Even the top 20 states accounted for just 77% of the total, making it a very geographically distributed industry. Washington made the top 10 with 230 establishments in 2018 versus 143 in 2013. And King County in Washington accounted for the top 5 biggest counties for food trucks with 89 in 2018. Go out there and support your local eateries. We have so many good ones and so many good food trucks as well. This is Daybreak for a Thursday. Good morning to you.
iFiber One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
It's Spencer Hughes with Jeff Slakey on this Thursday Daybreak. Good morning to you. Hope your day is shaping up well already. Boy, it's nice to see areas of the country with few problems, maybe, compared to everything else going on with the pandemic, with all sorts of other things and unrest in the world and in the country. Of all the things going on out there, one Lincoln, Nebraska man decided now was the time to bring up a very pressing issue and even propose that his city do something about it, namely renaming boneless chicken wings. Oh, this is one that's near and dear to my heart, in or out of a pandemic. A video of the city council meeting shows local resident Andrew Christensen pleading his case on August 31st. I propose that we as a city remove the name boneless wings from our menus and from our hearts, he implored before listing off a few reasons why. He continued, Number one, nothing about boneless chicken wings actually comes from the wings of a chicken. Number two, boneless wings are just chicken tenders. Thank you, Mr. Christensen. I've been saying this for years. How can you have a boneless wing? Wings have bones in them. It's like saying boneless ribs. It's like going to the barbecue joint and saying, I'd like ribs. And they go, you want boneless or bone in? I mean, how can you have boneless ribs? Your ribs are bones. Never mind, I'm getting too worked up. I shouldn't have done this story. I should have picked something a little lighter like politics. Christensen's third reason revolved around children. He says that they're being done a disservice and being raised to not accept the fact that meat grows on bones. Other names he suggested instead of boneless chicken tenders include buffalo-style chicken tenders, wet tenders, saucy nugs, or trash. Well, I wouldn't go that far, Mr. Christensen, but I agree with you. This whole boneless chicken wing thing is nonsense. They're just they're like chicken nuggets. They're like elongated, stretched out chicken nuggets, for goodness sakes, right? I think it's pretty funny. And he seems to be doing this. I saw the video several times, and he ought to be hired for Saturday Night Live, I'll tell you that much, because if this guy is serious, he's worth $1 million to that show. And even if he isn't, his comedic timing is perfect because he pulls this off without breaking a sweat or cracking a smile, really. So it's just a fun story here for you in a world of craziness and seemingly endless chaos and calamity and uncertainty, that in Lincoln, Nebraska, one gentleman thinks that chicken wings ought to be renamed. I'm Spencer Hughes with Jeff Slakey. You're listening to Daybreak. Good morning to you. More news, conversation, and guests straight ahead, and we hope you will stay tuned.
Thank you so much for listening to today's Daybreak with Jeff Slakey podcast. Again, I'm so happy and honored you found us and chose to listen. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this with your circle of influence. It's a collection of some of the interviews, news, and conversation during Daybreak with Jeff Slakey on iFiber One News Radio KMAS, weekdays from 6 to 9. Thank you so much again, and talk with you next time.